Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel Tomcat Stitchery. I'm Whitney and today we have a sponsored post and also one that I think a lot of people look forward to. So today's post or today's video is sponsored by Teddy Blake Handbags. As you guys know, if you've been following the channel for a while, I received a Teddy Blake designer handbag back in November. I got to pick one of my choice and they sent it to me for my own review, and I did a review video on that at that time, and it played a major part in my fall and winter wardrobe. I've literally been carrying it since then. Anyway, I've had a lot of, number one, people ask me questions about how it's held up now that I've had it for about 5 months, and kind of my thoughts on that, as well as, well, I'm also going to be putting it into my spring capsule, which I'll be talking more about actually on Tuesday, my own personal plans for sewing. But also, I was contacted by Teddy Blake asking if I wouldn't mind talking about what I thought now that I'd been carrying it for a while, and also to let you guys know that they're having an up to 70% off sale for St. Patrick's Day right now. So it starts today the 12th and goes through the 17th, and then they have I think it's a spring sale. Let me make sure. Let's see, yes, a spring sale that's going to be going on from March 20th, let me get the dates right, March 26th to March 30th. So, I mean, up to 70% off is crazy, and I do have a link down below if you're interested. It is an affiliate link. I do make a small commission. It doesn't cost you anything, but I do make a small commission if you buy anything off that link. But if for nothing else, it's definitely worth trying out. So, yeah, and then I'm going to talk with you guys about 10 street style looks and the patterns that I would recommend to be using to make up those patterns or make up those looks. So let's talk about my experience with my Teddy Blake handbag real quick. Okay, so I'll post some pictures of recent pictures. I made an Appleton dress, and this, I mean, I've been carrying this every day. Well, when I go out, you know, we are in the middle of a pandemic. Anyway, I chose, this is the Ava bag. I've talked more about it, and I'll link the video when I got this bag. But this is the Ava bag and the 11-inch Ava bag in, I think it's just called orange. Love this so much. This is such a fun pop of color. I'm also going to pop up in images. When I was researching for this video, structured and unstructured, but structured pops of colors bags I was seeing everywhere. So I'm going to have some running examples of just bright pops of color, which is always, I mean, that's spring, right? Okay, so to be honest, I have never owned like the most expensive bag I think that I have ever owned has probably been like a Coach bag or Kate Spade bag. So somewhere in like the $200 to $300 mark. I've never owned like a real fancy designer handbag before. But so I'm speaking from, you know, being very much a newbie in this. I like quality handbags. I'm a big proponent in buying the best quality that you can afford. And for me, that was, you know, Coach, Kate Spade, nice designer handbags, just not the upper echelon of designer head handbags. And Teddy Blake competes with those upper echelon. They're able to keep their prices lower, a little bit lower though, because of just marketing. They do their marketing different, and you know, they're taking the big designers on, which I think is fantastic. So let's talk a little bit about, obviously I went with a structured bag. Number one thing I can say, and this is the bag I've been carrying since November, and I think it was great for the fall and winter, great pop of color there, and it's gonna be a great pop of color in the summer. So it's really a year-round bag for me. But one thing I will say that I've noticed is that the leather has softened up very nicely. Because it's a structured bag, it was somewhat stiff when I first bought it. I mean, it still holds its structure. It hasn't gone like limp, but it's wearing in well. So, you know, like especially here, so because it's a structured bag and it's got these really cool, you undo these and then pop it to open it. Which, I mean, like all of my stuff's in there. Like this is a bag I use. I mean, like the pockets have become like more supple, you know, everything in there just because with use. You know, like a good pair of leather shoes, basically. So that is one thing that I have noticed, that it's just the leather is wearing really, really well. The hardware on this bag is very heavy and just high-end. So I can close this bag much easier now because everything has broken in a little bit. And not all the bags are so you know, multiple steps to close. They do have bags that are a little bit less, structured, a little more deconstructed, that kind of thing. They got a whole bunch of stuff on there and a ton of different colors. So definitely, if nothing else, go over and have a look. It's really amazing. But the hardware is what really I love about this bag. Like, it's heavy. It is, you know, it's wearing well, like nothing's chipping off or anything. And I'm not careful. I should be more careful with my things, but this gets like just tossed in my minivan and then schlepped into the grocery store. I have the strap on it right now because I do prefer that. It's just easier to me to be able to throw it over my shoulder. I can wear it crossbody if I want to. I don't do that very often, but you know, if we were able to go shopping, you know, like a day of shopping, I would probably wear it crossbody. But even the little feet have held up really, really well on this bag. So I personally have just been really impressed. I would buy another one. I mean, well, I didn't buy this one. This one was gifted to me, but I would buy one. I would spend money, especially at the sale. In fact, I'm tempted to have a look. They have some really cool belt bags that I'm kind of tempted. I don't know how I would like that on my body though. So, but they've got some really gorgeous ones. Anyway, my experience with it has been phenomenal. And, yeah, I would buy another one. I would buy one. So, especially on the sale prices. So definitely I would go have a look at that. But that is been my experience and kind of an update on how that's been going for me. Love it. Okay, I've been chatting at you. They asked if I would do like a minute blurb on just how I've been liking my bag. We know that I can't just do a minute blurb on anything, so. Okay, so let's get into, I've got my laptop here, 10 spring street style looks, and then we'll talk about the patterns where you can recreate them. I'm gonna have these up, obviously, so I can see what I'm talking about, and then I will put these up on the screen for you all. All right, so one thing that I did notice when I was pulling a lot of these, it's funny how, like I have quite a bit of denim on here, and this time last spring I was wanting to pull away from denim a little bit, so it's just, you know, how the year has affected us, 2020, just what I'm feeling. I'm definitely feeling a lot of wider leg silhouettes with statement sleeves-ish. I don't want to go too big statement sleeve just because I can get top heavy really easily. Yeah, but like, yes, loose tops tucked into high-waisted jeans, jackets, that kind of thing. It's funny, I just really noticed a trend as I was pulling images, which happens, you know. So for image number 1, I have this gal here. I love this. Now, I can't tell what's draped over her shoulders, if it's just like a sweater or if it's a blazer. It doesn't really matter. Any kind of a third layer that you might want to wear over that. Actually, like a crew sweater would be so cute over all of this. But she has kind of a tuxedo type blouse tucked into a wild print pencil skirt. Now, a lot to talk about here. So I didn't pull anything for the whatever it's draped around her shoulders because I can't really tell. It could be a scarf for all I know. I just can't really tell what's draped across her shoulders. But for the shirt, the tuxedo shirt, I have pulled the Liesl & Co. Recital blouse. Now I made this back during Vlogmas actually in a Liberty Tonalon. It has a gorgeous, it does not have your typical stand-up collar. It has either a banded collar or this really cool ruffle that you can put in. So I've made that view that has the ruffle collar, but you can also make one that has pin tucks down the front and it gives the look, it's like a tuxedo shirt. It doesn't have the bib like this lady's does that she's wearing, but I think that you could have a lot of fun with this pattern. You could do the ruffled collar and the pleated bib across, or the pleated front, to kind of give it that, just, it's a white shirt with something extra, like it's not just a white shirt, but I just think that that is so cool. And then it's just, you know, has your standard sleeve with the placket. For my version that I made during Vlogmas, I actually lengthened the sleeve to omit the cuff, and I put elastic shearing in the wrist for that to kind of cinch in, which is kind of a fun thing to do as well. But so yeah, so that's what I chose for the top. And then for the bottom, McCall's has this gorgeous, what is it, 8149 skirt, which is a pretty, you know, standard straight up skirt, but it's very similar to the skirt that this gal has on, in that it's got belt loops and it's got a fly front. which you could put in or whatever. I just think this would be gorgeous in a brocade. And actually, this really spoke to me. It reminds me of the couture skirt that I made January last year. I did a whole sew along on it, which doesn't have, it's just got a facing. It doesn't even have a waistband on it. It's just got the top facing. But it has the same idea. I made it in a really bright, like rainbow brocade, and did a whole bunch of couture techniques on it. So I think I could definitely recreate this look somewhat closely with that skirt, just by adding the blouse. But I think this McCall skirt would be pretty bang on. And the other thing about this outfit that's pretty amazing is that she has a belt covered in the same fabric. And people, I have found a US company that does covered belts. So covered buttons and covered belts and a few other things. It's called Beelines. And I've never used them, so I can't speak to, you know, how great they are, but they have a whole bunch of different widths of belts you can do with covered belt buckles, and you just send them the fabric. And they're pretty reasonable. And I know in the UK, there's Harlequin that does the covered belts, and I'm sure other parts of the, you know, of the EU and I mean Australia. All I did was search custom covered belts and came up with this shop, and it seems to have some good reviews, so I definitely want to use them. But I will link down to their shop below if you're interested in checking that out. But I'm like, oh my gosh, I want all the shirt dresses with all the matching belts now. And this skirt, how amazing to do like a fun bold print, because you don't need a lot to do a pencil skirt, and then get a matching belt. Yes. That sounds amazing. So that was kind of my excitement. Now, obviously, this is a little bit fancier than kind of what we're all wearing right now, but she's got it on with heels. You could even do kind of a patchwork, you know, quilty type. It's very Gucci-esque a little bit to me, I feel like. But yeah, I don't know. There's something about that that just spoke to me. And you could wear it with sneakers. You don't have to wear it with heels. You could do something a little bit more comfortable. All right, look number 2 is the broiler suit, the flight suit, whatever you want to call it. This gal has it on with pink. I love it that she's wearing it with the heels. I just think that's a lot of fun. I've been wanting to make a flight suit / broiler suit forever. There are quite a few on the market right now. I have just picked the Closet Core Blanca flight suit because I own it, but I know that there's a lot of different ones that are out there that are also really, really cool. I love this gal has hers like open with like a little camisole underneath it. I wouldn't make mine in pink because that's just not one of my colors, but I do have a chartreuse that I want to make. And I don't know that that's necessarily one of my colors, but I think it's close enough that I can make it work. Definitely closer than like a pale bubblegum pink would be for me. Although wear what you want, you know. Anyway, I love the wider leg. It's cropped and she's got a shorter sleeve. All of the above I want for my flight suit. So yeah, I've talked about this kind of ad nauseum. This is probably not a very exciting one because I think it's pretty well known that I really want to make a flight suit this spring, and it will be happening. I already have all the stuff. And it will be chartreuse. So you'll see that in a plans video at some point. Okay, next up. Now you can't see the front of this outfit, but oh my gosh, I love the back of it so much, and immediately a pattern came to mind. So this is kind of like a cropped swing jacket, which actually you could use the Gertie swing jacket. I mean, the one that I made my houndstooth out of, but anyway, that's not what I picked for this. And then it's got the matching cropped pants. Now, I think what you could do, because obviously this is like, I mean, you could do like an applique type, get really creative on the back, which is kind of what this looks like in this fabric. But I think you could just chop a pattern off at a certain point to color block, basically. Color block the same fabric you're going to use for your pants there at the bottom, and then you could use some kind of a really big, large scale print on the top half. I have picked for this New Look 6532, and you could use the jacket pattern with the pant pattern. Now the pant pattern on this is full length, but it would be very easy just to crop it because the pattern that this gal is, or the pants that this gal is wearing are cropped. So you would just, you know, maybe want to crop this pant pattern, but you would have it all right there. And then the pants and the jacket ask for the same wovens, and some stretch wovens are what this is made out of. But I think, gosh, I think even like a stretch cotton twill would be really lovely. You could even probably get away with using a real stable Ponte knit, you know, for both the pants and for the jacket. I would just make sure with the jacket, I mean, I guess you wouldn't have to, just similar weights if you're mixing your patterns. I guess you wouldn't have to do like a ponte for the top part too. You could do a ponte just for the bottom. I guess, I mean, yeah. I would just try and match the weight of it. You know, if it's a really heavy, like a hefty ponte, you know, use more of like a jacquard, like a heavier cotton jacquard, or a heavier, even like a stretch sateen or something, matching the weights on there. But oh my gosh, this would be so much fun to hack. And then have something on the back. Or you could use solid fabric and do something really cool if you've got any kind of embroidery software, or you can buy like the appliques now that you can sew on. You know, sky's kind of the limit on that one. I just thought that was so cool. Like, what a bold statement as you're walking away. Okay, look for, okay, now this one's a little bit of a cheat. So I was looking at my next knitting patterns, and this is actually one of these styled photos for the knitting pattern that it's going with. But I love this so much. I love the cropped sweater with the bias cut skirt with the sneakers. I think this is fantastic. And I want this outfit. So obviously I would just sew or just knit up the same pattern that this is for, which is the April cardigan by Petite Knits. Again, it's cropped. She's put some really gorgeous buttons, like a rhinestone, really like a vintage looking, 1960s vintage looking rhinestone button down the front, which is kind of cool. But you could kind of, you know, really have fun with any kind of buttons. But I just love that it's a little bit cropped, and I think it looks so good with that bias cut skirt. So for the skirt, I chose McCall's 7931. I actually have this pattern. I think it would be fantastic in a printed silk. You could do a silk charmeuse. A crepe de chine. You want it to be thick enough that you can't see through it, so you definitely want to make sure that it's got a little bit of heft to it, but it is a bias cut skirt, so I think it will just sit beautifully on the body. She has hers worn with a little t-shirt underneath. You could do a camisole or a little tank top or something to go underneath that sweater, but I love this for transitioning, and I would 100% wear it with my Cole Haan white leather sneakers. I think that that would be just beautiful. So that was a little bit of a cheat, since the pattern actually was actually from the knitting pattern, and it's a knitting pattern. So if you don't knit, I guess that's a little kind of a, maybe not fair, but anyway. All right, this is another layered look. I love this, and she's got this on with a heeled boot, I think. Let me make it bigger. There we go. Yes, a heeled boot, which I think is fantastic. I think you could also do sneakers with this. So I love the layered look. I love the bold print on the skirt, and then I love kind of the color blocking effect that she's got with the top. And then she's got a nice little pop of color there, the structured bag that goes with her turtleneck. I just love everything about this outfit. I don't know what it is. And it's a shacket. Which we've been sewing if you've been following along on the channel. All right, so for this one, for the turtleneck, I went with the Itch to Stitch Hepburn turtleneck. That is my favorite fitted turtleneck pattern. I know that there's a ton out there, and you know, you could choose any, but that's just my favorite for a fitted turtleneck. And so that's the one I put. Gosh, you could do it in a beautiful like rib knit, like a or like a rayon rib knit, and it would be very comfortable. But again, there's a ton of different turtleneck patterns out there. You know, I'm sure you probably have one in your stash. For the shacket, I went with the Ilford jacket by Friday Pattern Company. I have heard so many good things about this. It's a unisex jacket, and it comes in 2 different lengths. So obviously the pattern cover has it on this guy, and it's the shorter one, but then there's also a longer one, because I think the one on this gal is a little bit longer than what his version is. But yeah, it's a unisex jacket. It's definitely a shacket. It's got a whole bunch of pocket options. It's got the button front. I've seen so many beautiful versions on Instagram. I think you could make this in kind of a cotton twill to get her look. And gosh, I mean, I don't even know what this is out of, but you could even do like a wool flannel if you wanted to, or a cotton flannel would be kind of cool. But yeah, I just love the color she's done with this. And then for the skirt, I think this is a wrap skirt. It looks kind of frilly to me. And I found on Fiber Mood, which is actually a sewing magazine, they have a beautiful skirt called the Arletta. I think it's the Arletta. Oh boy, hold on. Got a snoring dog next to me. Yes, I think it's Arletta is how you'd pronounce that, skirt. But I think it's perfect. It's a wrap skirt. It's got the frill there on the front. You could do it in something really bold like the zebra print that this gal is wearing. Actually, Mimi G right now has a whole line of fabrics, and she just came out with more springy ones. But the ones that are kind of in her fall line, she has quite a few animal prints in different colorways that's on her Melanated Fabrics. You can buy them from the Melanated Fabrics. They're the fabric store that she and Brittany J. Jones run together. You can find all of her fabrics over there, and I think that you could probably get a very close dupe for this skirt from her stuff. So yes, I would definitely have a look there. But I just love the layering on that outfit. I think it's the colors that really speak to me too. All right, next up, also this was totally the colors, and I have some ideas for this one. All right, so I love, if you look closely at this gal's pants, they aren't really trousers. They have like a jean pocket on them. So I'm kind of wondering if this is like a lightweight denim, like even like a tinsel, like a lightweight tinsel denim would be amazing. Or if you could find a lightweight stretch denim, because the patterns that I've chosen for this are the, for the turtleneck, I would just do, again, whatever turtleneck pattern you love. Itch to Stitch Hepburn, again, is just my favorite fitted turtleneck pattern. I just love the colors this gal's put together. And I also really love the idea of a suit, because you can easily mix and match the jacket with things and the skirt and the pants with things, and have a lot more going on in your wardrobe. So yeah, I'm a big fan of that. But even though, I mean, this could just be like a lightweight suiting, like a light blue suiting, but wouldn't it be a fantastic in a denim, like a tinsel denim? I mean, maybe that's just me. But if you use something with stretch, you could very easily make the Itch to Stitch Liana stretch jeans for the bottom, because again, these has pockets, and the silhouette of the Lianas are very similar to this. It looks like it's a lower rise on Kenneth on the photo, but it's not. It sits maybe an inch below my belly button, because I've made it quite a few times. And I would say the silhouette is very similar to what this gal in the inspiration post is wearing. Because this doesn't look to be right at her waist, like maybe just right below her waist as well. And then for the jacket, you know, I could have gone with the tried and true Jessica from Closet Core, but actually, because it's got the patch pockets on here, it's a little bit longer. I thought that the Heather blazer from Friday Pattern Company might be a fun difference there. And it's more of the boyfriend style blazer. It's a lined pattern. I've seen a ton of versions on Instagram that look really just relaxed and cool. And you can see the gals, I mean, in the pattern picture, they're both rocking it, and it just looks really, really great. So, and with the patch pocket and stuff, I thought that would be really cool. And if you wanted to, I've got the Waffle Pattern Company, the Waffle Patterns, you know, they've got that ebook of the different pockets that you can buy and put on any pattern. So if you did have the Heather blazer and you didn't want to do a patch pocket, you could just put any of those pockets on there, any of those weird welt pockets, or you kind of sky's the limit if you wanted to make it, you know, take it up a notch and make it a little bit harder. But, you know, or just do the patch pockets. The gal in the inspiration post obviously has the patch pockets. I just love again, the colors. Look at her little purse there. I just love that. But yeah, those, I mean, those look like jeans. Like it's a jean, fly, and like pocket there. I just love it so much. Sorry. Okay. Next look, let's see, that was look 6. So for look 7, oh my gosh, I loved this gal too. I think it's the colors. They're a little bit softer colors, but actually I'm looking at a wool right now that I could make these pants out of to get a similar look. I would change the colors, I think, a little bit, but I just love everything about this. I love her little bag that's the pop of color. I could use my little orange bag. I love the pattern mixing with the large check on the pant, as well as, you know, the plaid, which is a different check on the shirt that's just peeking out from the sweater. And obviously you could definitely knit a sweater if you wanted to, but I actually have a t-shirt that I think you could wear as a sweater, as a cropped sweater for you. Okay, so we'll start at the top. So for the top, my favorite button-up shirt pattern is the Liesl & Co. classic shirt. I just really like that pattern. Now this shirt in the inspiration has a very 70s collar, but yeah, it's a very easy thing. I mean, you're just playing around with lengthening the points on that if you wanted to, or if you didn't want quite as dramatic of a collar, you just leave it as is. So sewing this up in kind of a, oh my gosh, a gingham, and I've got a linen gingham in my stash. That's my colors. Oh, that could be amazing. So yeah, so I mean, you could do any button-up shirt pattern probably for this, and you could even do it in a drapier fabric if you wanted to. For the sweater, now you could do like the seam work Astoria. I know that's a very popular one. That's definitely one that could work. You may want to, the Astoria has a little bit wider neckline, but I actually chose the Cashmerette Concord t-shirt because they have a cropped version. And I think that that would be so fun because you could wear that as kind of a cropped t-shirt or as a cropped sweater. And of course, in this pattern, all the pieces are mix and match, so you could put a longer sleeve on there if you wanted. And yeah, just layering it over your button-up shirt, and then you've got another piece in your wardrobe. And yeah, you could knit it, but I think that that would be a fun way to wear a t-shirt kind of a different way. You know, make up your t-shirt in a little bit thicker fabric. You could even size up a little bit if you wanted to, if you were using something a little thicker, more of a sweater weight, a thicker, you know, like a ponte even, like a mid-weight ponte. I wouldn't go too heavy, but a mid-weight ponte, or some like a thicker sweater knit, or even the cable knits that are everywhere. I think you could make something that looks more like a crop sweater. And then for the pants, I went with the Liesl & Co. Hollywood trousers. I mean, it's basically this silhouette right here. I love those pants. I made them back in this time last year for the Great Module Sew Along, and actually they're a little big on me now. But I love those pants, and I think having them in a large scale check, which I'm actually staring at, also from my Mentor Joyce's stash right there, would be fantastic. So yeah, I really love that. Okay. Next up, look 8. Oh my gosh, I just love this. Yes, I love this. Now, I'm not sure how this shirt would look on me, but I think what I love is I love the blue on blue. I think that's wonderful. And then with the pop of color on the foot, I could totally see this with like my bright orange loafers. But I just love this blouse. Obviously, this kind of the larger ruffle blouse is very in right now. Again, I'm just not sure how that's gonna, with my proportions, if that's gonna be something for me. But if you can wear the ruffles, I love this so much. So for the top, I chose the Nina Lee Patterns, the Bloomsbury blouse. Very similar. It's got the high neck, it's got, you know, the frill that goes all the way around, buttons in the back, which presumably this shirt does as well, because there's obviously no closures on the front. And then it looks like on her shirt, she either has like a little applique on there, or you could do a fun brooch. Anything that you find like in a flea market or thrift store. I was actually received quite a few brooches from my grandmother when she passed away. So I've got some really cool ones that I could play with. I may play with this silhouette, to be honest, just to see how I like it on me. Maybe do it in a little bit drapier fabric. This looks to be kind of a cotton shirting. So that's what I chose for the top. And again, I think you could have a lot of fun with like a brooch or something on there, or you could sew on like a patch or an applique. There's some gorgeous things that are available now. And then for the jeans, I went with the Megan Nielsen Dawn jeans. I think the straight-legged version. So there's a skinny leg, a straight leg, and then the wide leg. I've made the straight leg, and they are the ones that I repurposed a men's pair of jeans with, and I love them. And I think that this would be perfect for that. And gosh, you could even go repurposing a pair of men's jeans for that, because you would get all the wear pattern really well. And then again, I could just see that with a pair of bright papa shoe. You could do a heeled shoe. You could do a loafer, which I think I would do. My bright orange loafers would be just fantastic. And orange would be wonderful with the blue on blue as well. I need to fix my men's jeans, my Dawn jeans that are from the men's pattern, have holes in them. And they did when I made them, but some of them are getting a little out of control. I need to do some mending, get them closed up a little bit. But yes. I really loved that outfit too. All right, next look 9. Oh my gosh, the slip dress. I want to make a slip dress so bad this spring. I just love all of the options. Again, you know, we talked about the suit where it was the boyfriend blazer. Sorry, I've been talking so long, my camera just shut off on me. So we talked about the suit with the boyfriend blazer and the pants, the wide leg pant. I think that you could use that blazer over the slip dress to make a wonderful look. Obviously this gal has dressed it up a little different. It's very like 90s, which was when I was a teenager. But for the slip dress, I went with the Sewing Patterns by Mason, the Sicily slip dress. We've seen quite a few different makers make this up. It's fantastic. I love that this gal has it in a bright pop of color, because I was going back and forth. Do I want to do something neutral, which I haven't quite made up my mind yet, or do I want to do a pop of color? Let's be honest, I'll probably go with a pop of color, because I've got some red, like some warm red in my stash of silk that would be gorgeous on this. She has it paired over a t-shirt, which obviously you could do over any kind of t-shirt. And then she has a leather jacket, like a very simple leather jacket thrown over this. For that jacket, I actually chose the Sarah Alto jacket by Itch to Stitch. I was one of the pattern testers for this. It's fantastic. Now, you don't have to make it in leather. I actually used leather for my, I guess just my binding. I used leather scraps for my binding on that pattern. It's got a little bit of a yoke, which you could just do leather on the yoke, or you could do the whole thing in leather if you want. But it doesn't have a collar, which is just like the jacket that this gal has on. Does she have, let me make that bigger. Yeah, she's got tall boots on with it. So what a great way to wear it as we're going into the warmer weather before you want to go like full on slip dress. A great way, and she's got a longer necklace on with it, and then her bag. I just think this is fantastic. And I love the striped shirt under there too. I can't tell if it's a t-shirt or a turtleneck, but she just looks adorable. So yeah, that's a really good one. That will be happening. All right, and then my final look is this gal here, and really the jacket is like, wow, what's amazing about this? So we'll get to that last. So for the bottoms, even though these are more of a jeans, I picked the Persephone pants by Anna Allen patterns. Now I've made these, I made them in pleather if you watched my Sew the Look, which I guess was last week, and I love those pants. And I would just do the regular cropped, and I think what would be fun is, and I've done this before on other pants, instead of hemming them, I've just sewn a line of stitching around the bottom and then cut edge and then washing them and letting them fray and then cutting like the long, you know, white threads that'll hang down to give it that raw edge, but then it doesn't fray too much. If you do like a matching line of thread that matches the denim, it won't get carried away. So, yes, I think I would choose those because it's cropped and it's wide leg. You put a boot on there with it. She just has like a little sweater on. So for the jacket, I actually went with the Closet Core Patterns Sienna Maker jacket. Now, I think that the gal's jacket is in maybe a wool of some sort, but there is a tutorial on the Closet Core Patterns blog on how to line the Sienna Maker jacket. And actually Dwayne from Mainly Menswear on Instagram, he's lovely. I was on the Fall Style Maker Fall Fabric Tour with him, but he's actually made the Sienna Maker jacket as like a men's long coat. It's phenomenal. He's done so many things with that. All these tailoring techniques he put in there, lined, everything. So I think it would be fun to do view C, which is the shorter version. I've made that in linen before, and then follow their tutorial for how to line it. I just think that'd be really cool. And then you could do it in a really fun, bold wool, or as we're going into warmer weather, you could do like a cotton or a brocade of some sort, or even a lightweight wool that's a little more like in your face, and then it's the buttons. And you know, there is a pocket on the sleeve of the Sienna Maker jacket on that view. You could omit that if you wanted a little less workman jacket and a little more just a crop jacket. But this one has the collar, and it just, the front of it looked very similar. So I think I would definitely use that pattern for that, and you could get some really cool results just by changing up the fabric. Which actually, the Sienna Maker jacket might be the topper pattern I use for my One Pattern 3 Ways. And if so, I'll probably play around with that. So stay tuned. Okay, so there you have it. 10 street style looks and the patterns I would use to recreate them. Also, don't forget, if you're interested in taking a look at the Teddy Blake website, I've got a link down below. It is an affiliate link, just so you know. Want to be very upfront about that. But yeah, again, up to 70% off. And the sale is good today through the 12th that you're watching this, through the 17th, and then they have a spring sale coming up March 26th through March 30th. So yeah, I can go on there and have a look and kind of make a little wish list or something. Or maybe now it's time to get your purse for the spring and summer. Time to maybe upgrade a little bit. I am a big proponent of buying the best quality that you can afford. Obviously, because you're going to get more longevity out of it, and then you can have less things that make a bigger impact. So I love mine. All right, guys, that's all I have for today. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Sunday, we'll be having part 4 of our Vogue 8772 sew along. Have a good one. Bye.